We're going to make a new part file. You can either hit File New or you can hit the piece of paper. We are going to check our units and change it to what it needs to be. So for this activity, it is in millimeters, so mmgs. We're going to go up to the Sketch tab, Sketch button, and then select the front face. And it shows that there is a circle drawn right in the middle from the origin. So I'm going to select the origin and move out. And then I'm going to get my line tool, move down here to the bottom left, click to place, and try to draw a straight up and down line. Notice it kind of snaps to that. So I'll click and I'll move up here on an angle, click over to the right. And notice why I'm drawing, I'm trying to draw lines that are horizontal and vertical where they need to be. And the reason why I'm doing that is because it's going to save me some time later on of going back and adding relations. You'll also notice when you move your mouse down here toward the end, it projects from your origin. So that's going to make it a lot easier because it's going to give you that horizontal line at the end. Now, if you didn't do that, if your lines are all kind of on a weird angle or messed up, you can still change those just by going up and selecting a line and changing its relation. Okay, so you notice I got out of the line tool there, and then I went up, I clicked on a line, and you can change its relation. So this one should be vertical, horizontal, vertical, horizontal, vertical, horizontal. It's kind of working itself around. Okay, so now that we have all those lines in, we can go ahead and start adding our dimensions. So the easiest one here to do is start with a circle. So let's give that a diameter of 30. And everything else is going to change according to our first dimension. So you noticed when I first clicked on that, it came up at 70, which is more than double this. But nothing changed on my screen other than this dimension. Everything is actually building off of this one dimension. So the bottom line here, it says is 110. The line on the far right, it says it's 25. This line here, not this line, the vertical line here is actually 40. Across the top is also 40. The line on the far left is 45. And then the last thing that we have on the outside is this angled line. So you notice in your picture, it shows from this left line to that dot. So you could do this several ways. You could either click the left line and that dot, or you could click the angle line, but make sure you don't move out on an angle. You want to move straight up so that it's measuring the measurement from left to right, which is the width. Okay, and that is 20. Now, it's still blue and underdefined because we don't know how far away this outside is from our origin. So it shows in the picture that the left line to the origin is 30. And from the bottom line to the origin is also 30. So if some of your stuff got messed up, yours wasn't as easy as this, remember you can always hit escape on your keyboard to get out of a tool. You can click on a line and you can simply hit delete on your keyboard, or you can right click and hit delete. You also have this back button up here, which is the same thing as hitting Control Z. That's the undo button. I would advise that you really don't use this that much because I've seen SOLIDWORKS glitch and go back at least 10 to 15 steps instead of just one. So it's easier if you just delete an individual line. If you have relations that are yellow or red, right click and delete them, and that will solve some problems. So you got to problem solve a little bit. It's not always as easy as just copying me. Your drawing might be a little bit different than mine. Once you have your drawing fully defined, like it says down here, and everything is black, then we can go ahead and move on to the Features tab, hit Extrude Boss Base, and notice it selects everything other than that circle. So we need to look at the material thickness that's written on the activity, and in this case it says it's 50. Then we also need to look at the Z in its center of mass and see if that's positive or negative. So in the activity it says it is positive, which means it's going to be coming forward in a positive z. If it was negative, we would have to send it backwards by hitting this reverse button. But we don't need to do that for this activity because it is positive. So we'll hit the green check. Then we need to change our material. So over here where it says material, right click and change it to the material that it says. In this case, it says it is cast alloy steel. Okay. So it might not have changed the color because cast alloy steel is this similar gray, but it did change its material type. So we can go up to the Evaluate tab and hit Mass Properties, and it will bring up a window that looks like this, and it will show you your density for that material, show you the mass of this object that you drew with that material, and it will show you the center of mass and everything else. So we want to make sure that this mass is correct according to what we have written on the actual activity itself. And the measurement on the activity is just this. It's the exact same thing. And you notice this z that I was referring to is positive z, because we came forward. So the center of it is right in the middle. Since we came forward 50, half of 50 is 25. So that means its center of mass is halfway through this. So if your numbers are all correct, you can close out of this Mass Properties. You can go up to File, Save As, and you can save this as whatever the assignment name is, and then you can close out and you can move on.